Welcome to Live at the Blue Box. It is now time for This Week in Geek. I don't mean to frighten you there at the table. We do live podcasting here every Saturday night. And we call you out by name, Gary. Tonight what is it? March 26, 2016. We're about to do This Week in Geek. Let's introduce ourselves. We have a special guest. It is not an Edward. Let's start here.
I am Chris Mao. I am the co-owner of Blue Box Cafe and co-host of several shows, including this one.
Can we start again, Chris? I didn't record. Welcome to Live at the Blue Box. It is now time for This Week in Geek for March 26th, 2016.
It feels like we just did this already.
I'm having deja vu all over again. Let's start with you.
Me? Great. I am Chris Mao, co-host.
Wait, let's start again. I'm kidding.
Hey, wait. Ned Ryerson? Sorry.
Ned?
Yeah, I'm Chris Mao. I am co-owner of Blue Box Cafe, where we are recording this evening and co-host of several shows, including this one on the fantastic Southgate Media Network.
And next to you,
my name is
the Effervescent.
Is that with a Z?
Yeah.
My name is Alil Kanitsa. I co-host with Rob, because I always forget to say it, a podcast called Nuff Said about the Marvel Universe and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Had to throw that in there first.
Wow, that's like the first time ever.
It is. It is.
2 years, you're rocking it.
I know.
Did he threaten to cut you off?
No, I felt bad at what I did at C2E2.
He's making connections all over the place. I was like, oh, did you get him for Nuff Said? What? Thanks, man.
And I also host a podcast called the League of Geeks podcast, and that's Geeks with a Z.
And next to you is a very special guest who's one of our interviews for tonight.
Yes.
But not right now. You're more our punching bag because there's going to be a lot of abuse. You are.
I'm Ben Miller. I'm the writer of a comic book series called Judges. And I'm also the writer of a future series called Kanisha that's hopefully coming out
nice.
soon.
And we might as well throw this out here before we get going. Ben is right in the middle of a Kickstarter for Judges right now.
All right.
So why don't you give a little information about that? We'll talk more about it later.
We're running it was a 4-part miniseries, and now we're running a Kickstarter to put it into a graphic novel trade. We're doing a original story that's just going to be in the trade. That's the only place you can get it. We're trying to raise $5,000 just for printing costs and shipping costs. Right now we've got about 20 days left. So
yeah, it's still early.
Go on, vote.
Go on and vote. Yeah,
with money.
Rock the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
We're gonna get P. Diddy in here to tell people.
Oh, sure, that'll
work. that'd be awesome.
All
right, are you guys ready?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Look who's ready. Ben's ready.
Ben's ready.
All right.
Hey, I heard there's this great Kickstarter for a comic book that's going on. You know anything about that?
So, since I'm going to be eating my salad through most of this,
that's great.
I say
great live podcasting.
Well, first of all, I want to throw one out immediately because this is going to weigh heavy through the whole thing, and I'd rather do it right now. Let's get the bad news out of the way first. Gary Shandling died this week at 66.
Yep.
Yeah, that was sad.
I'm a big Gary Shandling fan. His show, the original one on HBO, was a big inspiration for what we do. I'm just really sorry to see him go. I think he's Hydra, so a little part of me is okay with it, but yeah. So you guys Shandling fans?
Yeah, a huge fan. I watched it when it was on Fox, when it was the Gary Shandling show.
Right.
And
Wasn't it on HBO too? Or?
No, it was Larry Sanders was on HBO.
On HBO.
Oh, yeah. I was a fan of the Fox one, and then Larry Sanders is just the best.
And yeah, I mean, I was a fan of that before Seinfeld and all this other stuff. You can see kind of how a lot of those comedians kind of really intertwined with each other and kind of really helped each other out, because you could see a lot of
that's awful.
He's got a hole in his mouth.
The manners of a goat. To quote Highlander.
But you could see that, and it's really sad. I mean, he just did a Comedians in Cars with Jerry Seinfeld in January, where it's basically Gary Shandling is still alive, and I'm like, that is terrible.
Now they're doing Comedians in Hearses. Thank you. I'm so sorry.
Too soon. Too soon.
You know what? That is the longest I think I've ever waited. So,
not really.
No.
When Harrison Ford was in his accident, I was on it before it even hit the news. So I can't help it.
True.
Comedy plus 0 time equals comedy.
No, but he will be missed.
He will be.
He will be.
I love Gary Shandling.
Wasn't he a writer on Sanford and Son or something?
Yeah, and Welcome Back, Kotter.
Yeah.
That's
That's how far back his career goes.
Yeah, and he's one of like I'm not one.
Was
who
he like
actually,
3 when he did that? Because
Yes.
I mean,
he's only 66.
I know those were like mid '70s shows.
Right. I am not one who actually likes a lot of comedians. I find them. I don't know.
Guess what? They don't like you.
Yeah,
so.
I know, right? Hashtag they hate you too. He's one of the few that like I think he's really funny. When I've seen his stand up, I'm like, this guy is really fantastic. Great point of view, very clever. So this is a big loss to comedy and just entertainment in general. Just
Well,
great
yeah,
guy.
I mean, and he brought out like a lot of the people who are leading Hollywood today. Like, you
Right.
know,
Oh, yeah.
He's the one who brought these guys out, gave them their shot, and it's
sure.
right.
Well, he got his shot with. I mean, he was doing other stuff, but Johnny Carson. He showed up on Johnny Carson, and he made or break. If you were a comedian, he could make you or break you, and he obviously made Gary, a popular man. And then he was the fill-in host after Joan Rivers left, and that's huge. And he, I think you can definitely see where the Larry Davids and the Jerry Seinfelds and those guys come off of that tree.
Completely. Well, and the doors were open because of him and because of the success. And look at that show, the Gary Shandling show. Had that great theme song that was unlike any theme song ever.
We're called out that it was a made-up show.
Yeah,
it was great. It was
well, and the fact that like I usually harp on breaking the fourth wall. I'm not a big fan. You haven't heard the show, but I complain about it quite often. Except that show, him breaking the fourth wall was the show. Because you felt like it was something just kind of happening, and when he turned to the audience and stuff, you just felt so in on the joke.
Sure,
loved it, and what a great cast he had on there. Too.
And he was smart. He was a smart comedian, so you could see how he would have to incorporate that because I don't think everybody got what he was joking about. And so when he turned to the camera and said, "That's a joke," you went, "Oh, that." That's a joke. Yeah, great. Thanks.
I'm going to start trying that too when I'm not getting laughs. That's a joke. Didn't work. Look at it. My whole family is ignoring me. That's the joke.
That's normal though.
Yeah, right. Okay. Can we move on?
Sure.
Go for it.
All right.
If we're going to talk about celebrity deaths, Ken Howard passed away.
White Shadow.
The White Shadow. He was great. It was just, I think it's kind of ironic because we're here in Chicago that they said he was a Chicago Bull when he was a professional basketball player back when they were absolutely horrendous. So
was he really?
No, he was not. But I'm just saying, like, if you remember the beginning of the show is like he's a pro basketball player and gets hurt and then goes into the bad ghetto to coach some kids, and that's what he did. So
I have trouble with reality and TV. So that was a TV thing.
Yes, that was a TV thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, just as a Chicago thing, as a Chicago shout out.
He was great.
And he also started, like later on in his career, kind of played the grizzled, like retired cop a lot.
Yeah,
right.
And showed up on a lot of different shows. He was on Crossing Jordan, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was. He was in a lot of stuff. He did. He was he was that guy. He kind of looked that Irish gruff, big dude. He just had that look.
That just slipped down. All you're getting is our chins.
All 8 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Look at that handsome crew.
Look at that handsome crew.
Yep. I had a joke about chins, but I'll keep it to myself. So, we got anything else?
Hello.
Are we done? Thank you for listening, everybody. No,
we're done.
We're done.
Okay. I want because I didn't see it, but a little movie came out this week, Batman versus Superman.
Well, not versus V.
Oh, yeah, V.
Superman.
So this thing comes out. We've been talking about it on here forever. Here's the deal. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going Tuesday, but the 3 of you have. Yeah. Now, without getting all spoilery, just quick, what did you think? Because I've heard some very distinct things, and I know nothing about what you thought, Dan.
For me, it was a good experience kind of a movie. There are some serious plot issues in the movie. The change between let's fight and let's be friends happens on a dime. There's some other plot issues throughout the movie. I thought Ben Affleck was a great Batman, possibly did the best Bruce Wayne as a layered, I'm trying to hide that I'm really a vigilante, but, trying to pretend that I'm a playboy kind of performance that I've seen from Batman. A lot of people I know didn't like the Luthor. I thought if Lex Luthor was like a tech billionaire giant today, that's how he would act.
He'd be a complete tool.
But would you say he was a tool or just crazy? Although, what would you think? I don't think he was that much of a tool. Then he was just so
tool
smart.
in the previews.
Well, I think he was just too smart for his own good and just kind of.
I think he was. Yeah, he was crazy, but I don't see you being a genius head of a company to end up like that. You wouldn't have lost all your money being that insane. I think. But again, we've got to suspend reality at some points. But go.
No, and I know a lot of people loved Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. I thought she can do two faces, happy and angry, and there's not much in between there. So I mean, but she didn't get a lot of screen time, so it's kind of a wait and see with her. I like the way they introduced the rest of Justice League. I thought that was kind of it. I know people are like, well, it wasn't necessary, but I think it kind of gave away a reason to without them just like, because in the one moment where there's the weapon in the water, if the Aquaman would have shown up there, I would have been ticked off.
So Aquaman doesn't show up in it.
Well, he does, but like not.
I'm not meaning to spoil. Have you guys seen it
There's
yet?
cameos. There's cameos.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
It's not a big surprise that they say Jason Momoa is in the movie. So.
Okay, Mimosa's in it. I don't really care. I mean, I even know what the big spoiler is. We're not going to talk about it too early. But
Really a spoiler.
I think so.
I mean, if you've read the comics,
right,
and you know the other character that's going to be in it, you expect that to happen, and then you expect what happens after that to happen as well. So,
okay,
go ahead.
No, you know what? We were kind of Rob and I were kind of discussing a little bit before. I thought it was I liked the movie. I'm not a slave to any of the comic books or any of the history, so I liked it for what it was. I think we kind of chatted back and forth. I thought it was very good, but there are obvious plot holes, like you talked about. There are some really, I think, poor choices in terms of how they did some scenes. But as a movie, I could buy it. And you know, Rob and I were kind of discussing it. DC had to catch up to an Avengers type movie, and so they threw 10 pounds of sausage in 5 pounds of casing, so it's a little disjointed. But I thought I loved Ben Affleck as Batman. I thought he was great.
Wait, are we talking about Sausage Party?
We're not talking about Sausage Party, but I'm just saying there was a lot. They put a lot of stuff in. It was a lot of information in 2.5 hours.
All right.
The beginning was a little rough because they tried to put all of this stuff in there, but once they got to some of the action stuff, I thought it was really good. And I was happy. I got my popcorn. I lay back in my recliner and enjoyed the heck out of it. I liked Batman. I liked Man of Steel. I enjoyed them. So I like this little darker view that DC has, but I think they have a rough go competing with the Marvel Universe. So I think they're
time on the script.
I agree that it was some of the best superhero action that you'll see in a movie. The action scenes were in the fight scene. The main fight scene was phenomenal.
Until
all right,
I think it was great, and then it's like, oh, okay, I think it's time we finish it, and that's it. So, but it was very Dragon Ball Z-ish, and I'm not a big fan of that. So, I mean, I don't know. I thought when he came out in the suit, that was pretty.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
play,
especially even just the way it was shot, the way it looked and felt while the fight was going on. I mean, Zack Snyder couldn't do.
Yeah, it was very in Snyder's realm because it had feelings to me of Watchmen and 300. When I'm watching those fight scene, like the end fight scene is so much 300 because you're seeing, he has a tendency to use those scenes and like. You have debris and stuff floating in the air and really focus in on, like, you can see the debris, like, really, like, illuminate the screen. Like, it really changes the texture of what's going on. But an overall movie, it was okay. I'm not saying – I don't think it deserves, like, this
I thought
crazy,
you were going to hate on it because of your love for Marvel. But
it's
no,
exactly.
You're not hating on it.
I'm not hating it. I'm trying to be objective.
All right.
So
compared to Superman 4, where does it fall?
Oh, Quest for Peace. Quest for Peace is amazing.
Let me ask you a question. How do you think it stacked up against Age of Ultron? Because I thought it was better than Age of Ultron.
You can't. You're going in chapter 20 of a movie of a series,
right?
Where so many things are already established, where people get a little. Do I think if we know Doomsday's in? Do I think Doomsday or Ultron? I liked Ultron better than I did Doomsday.
Will I stay awake for this one?
There's I don't know. My buddy who I went with fell asleep for the first hour.
There was about 45 minutes in. I was a little.
The first hour, 15 minutes, it was quite daunting.
Well, you know what? But I'll tell you what, it wasn't exciting. There was a lot in there. There was a lot of info.
They got to throw a lot for this.
And I think I think he took a lot from. Obviously, he took a lot from Man of Steel, but I think he took a lot.
No, he took a lot from a bunch of different books. You could go. We're talking about Death of Superman. We could talk about.
Do you think he took a lot from Dark Knight from Nolan? Because I think there was a lot of that where they tied like the Wayne Manor stuff. I thought that was very Dark Knight-ish.
Yeah, but in the Batman lore, I mean, his comics they do a lot of that stuff. So and then the Dark Knight books. You look at that. That's some of what he tried to lay that groundwork in.
Sure.
If that, got a little bit of that. I mean, there was a tease in there. I don't want to give it away, but with the Flash and my problem is Snyder again. Too many dream sequences, so I don't know what's real and what's not. Right. And I think that's some bad writing. I'm gonna blame Goyer on that because Terry or whatever. I'm
gonna blame Ben on that.
Right. The dream sequences I thought were unnecessary in some.
Yeah, some of them weren't. Some of them. Some of them were good to set up Bruce Wayne.
Right.
Yes.
But I mean, some of them, like when you're talking about, if you want to show the crime alley scene again, you can do that. We've all seen it a bunch of times before. But if you want to do that again, you can do that. But the other scenes that were some of the dream sequences, I know they're laying groundwork for future movies, but I felt like they were unnecessary.
Right. And it makes you would have that dream sequence like that. Like he is an oracle of the future.
Well, it does make sense if they're bringing another character in. If that isn't a dream sequence, but a warning from someone who can manipulate your mind, from Mars.
But see, that's the thing. Like, I agree, I understand that. So yes, if you are correct. If there's a character who's in Supergirl, that's involved, there is options here. But the problem is you look at the general audience. Like you look at this without any knowledge of this. You're like, you can think about that dream as, this is his fear of what can happen with Superman. But it's like it makes no sense to have some of the things that were in that dream in there.
Right, but then the casual person also doesn't understand the dark side references in the dream.
Right. I mean,
so they don't know that he shouldn't know that.
Well, so right, but then at the end, Luther says it basically, and it's like, how does he know? And I'm like, what is this?
I enjoyed the bells been rung scene. Like it was crazy and everything else.
And I thought Luther's plot, like him manipulating everything, was really weak because it was weakly put together.
Is he looking for land in this one?
Because he wants land.
He is not doing a real estate scheme, thankfully.
Is Otis in it? Is it any Otis name?
And
Otisburg. Miss Tessmacher shows up. So.
Miss Tessmacher, it's genius.
Yeah, they had a lot of ground to cover, and they could have really done with a lead-up movie to this. I think.
Right.
Well,
you know what
they did. They covered
what they should have done here. They already delayed this movie almost a year. I mean, it was supposed to come out last summer. So at that point, you could have split this and double your box office.
Right.
They could have easily been either a Batman movie and then this movie, or a Superman 2 movie, because they never.
It was supposed to be Superman 2,
right? And
then they kept saying, you know what gets box office is Batman.
But the thing of it is it really never answered the question: Does the world need a Superman?
No.
And that's a very interesting.
It is. It feels like he hates Snyder hates Superman. It feels like, and I'm not a big fan of the character, but come on.
You're making a
Superman movie. He did. He hammered him. It is such not a bad portrayal. It's just a very one-sided portrayal of who Superman is and how we think about it, or how they suspect we think about it.
I could have done without the constant Christ references of Superman.
Oh, sure.
Like he's a guy,
and especially that it was released on Good Friday.
Yeah,
and we're talking about.
And then like in the one scene, there's I don't know if you noticed it or not, but the one scene at the end, there's crosses.
Oh
behind
yeah.
him, and it's like,
well, even with
the
Batman on the top of the crane,
right.
But that's like godlike too. It's all.
But that's Snyder. You're going to get a lot of imagery in a Snyder movie,
right?
Whether you like it or not.
Right.
I don't think.
And that's the one thing I'm not bashing.
If that's the one reason that you don't go see the movie, then
it's enjoyable. It's worth the money. I would go see it, and I think it could be a decent launching pad for the rest of the series that they're going to bring out. But who knows?
So I'll let you guys go off on a kind of a review here. We don't normally do that here. Where the actual story is, and I want to get your thoughts on, is the whole thing with Rotten Tomatoes. 31%
30
critics.
Now.
What is it?
30. 73%
73%. That's a huge discrepancy. And we've seen it before. I'm just wondering, flat out, do you think 31 or 30% is deserved, or do you think it's higher? I have a feeling it's higher than that.
It's ridiculous. Well, part of it I don't really trust Rotten Tomatoes because any site that has the Boondock Saints at like 12% or whatever it is ridiculous.
But it's not Rotten Tomatoes that's doing that. I mean, it's all these reviewers. So you got to look at it this way. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, Rotten Tomatoes, they're in Marvel's pocket." Blah blah. I'm like, number one, they're owned by Warner Brothers.
Right.
Number two, it has nothing to do with those. It's all these independent writers from newspapers, from magazines, from websites.
I'll tell you right there. One reason I don't trust any of it is a lot of times they put in the a lot of movies will put it in their quotes, and I know Rotten Tomatoes pulls from the various critics. Gets like, he likes this movie. Peter Travers is the worst. Hashtag the worst movie reviewer. Anything he says, I'm always like, well, it's probably the opposite, or I'm just not putting any faith in this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like.
So when you know that this guy who's ranked highly is terrible as a reviewer, you can't really go by those critic reviews.
I feel like, sometimes like the critics get it right, but sometimes they don't understand. If the critics win this winning a Marvel movie, then they're going to be you're going to be disappointed. If you want to joke every every minute, if you want bright colors and happy superheroes, that's not what DC's doing. DC's trying something different because of a DC movie that's just like that. And I think
speaking to the mic,
I think a lot of the
there we go.
I think a lot of the
better. Oh, it's blocking your face. Video guy. You know what? You better listen to him.
Okay.
He breaks fingers.
I think
Look
a lot
what he
of
did to me.
Yeah. I think a lot of the people that want to go in and see that fun Marvel movie are missing what DC's trying to do with their films and the more serious, more adult take on what superheroes are.
Yeah, but see, I see that's what I hate, though. I hate hearing that because I look at a movie like Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier was a very adult movie.
Yeah, it was the only one out of all.
Yeah, but we're gonna get Civil War. It's not the only one. But Marvel's doing a different. And I also think First Avenger was the same way. I don't think First Avenger was like a kiddie movie.
No,
we're
not
talking
at all.
about World War One here. We're talking about Nazis. I mean, yes, they took a little lighter tone with Hydra, but it was serious. Yes, and even Iron Man 1, we're talking about a guy who was basically a weapons, guy going overseas to Afghanistan selling weapons. There was some serious overtones with that. I think what the difference is people then think Guardians of the Galaxy. They think Iron Man 2 got a little bit more campy. Ant-Man, yeah. But the thing is some of those you get balance.
Sure.
You get the guys. You get your movies that are more serious, serious in tone. Because I think Civil War is going to be very serious in tone.
Well, I think the problem with the DC thing is, bottom line is they're kind of going for one note, and it's obvious. You look at their lineup. You look at the trailer for Wonder Woman. You're like, it looks really good. It's still the same note. Whereas the Marvel movies, each one, yes, they're a little lighter, but at the same time, they're trying to do something different with each property. This is a space opera. This is an action film. This is a whatever.
A heist film.
Yeah. And that, to me, speaks a lot more. Whereas I think at the end of the day, unless they make some change, look at this body work and go, it's kind of like an 18-hour movie. It's the same note through the whole thing.
Well, I think you're going to see it differently when there's a different
Suicide Squad.
Exactly. When that's the thing. When there's a different hand. Because that's what they Marvel.
Sure.
Marvel has.
But Justice League is going to be Snyder again.
And that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I know.
Will it?
It is.
After this?
Well,
it will.
This, you never know.
It will. You know why? Because this is going to make money. I don't care what the critics say. It's going to make money.
But is it going to make enough money? Because look at even Age of Ultron to Disney and Marvel didn't make enough. Even though it made 1.4
talked about
money on the table.
Do they need to have a home run, or do they need to be able to create a body of work? And I think they'll take a marginal success to do it.
They will, but if they think somebody who they already hired as an executive producer, a George Miller, who has Mad Max behind him, who already had a Justice League mapped out in his head, can come in and fit the bill and say, you know what?
Please let that happen.
Right when you heard all these rumors about that this movie wasn't going to be as great as claimed, and then George Miller comes out of nowhere. It's like, I'm an executive producer now. It's like,
And you're right, Alil. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Oh, sure.
Did they do that too? But I think they're going to let him do Justice League. I really do.
But you know what? It might be a co-director thing. It might be George Miller stepping in, or
it might be the Spielberg poltergeist.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's really Miller like pulling the strings and saying, and Zack Snyder going, but I. At the end of the day, Miller actually goes, okay, here's how we fix this.
Because I think the problem with
let's look at what he did with Mad Max.
If you go one voice throughout. Sometimes that connectivity, everything
as
feels
much
the
as
same.
we loved Joss Whedon on Avengers, I was ready for him to go after Avengers 2. And I love Joss Whedon, but it's like, you know what? We need a new voice. Russo brothers are a great new voice.
Well, and I also think that you can't say enough about like the script, because if Snyder had a different script, I think you would have a different movie. Like,
he's not the guy to give the script to.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Look at his movies.
Yeah,
right.
When he has a great script writer, it's a great movie.
Right.
But when he doesn't,
I mean, you have to look at maybe the script was more the problem. I don't know if the script was more the problem or
well, Goyer was still attached, so I see a problem there.
I think he wrote a good part, and then they piled everything on because I think they felt like they needed to catch up to the we were talking about.
Because the Iron Man 2, Iron Man 2 could have been good, and then it's like, no, we need to establish now this big universe.
Right.
Because the separate Hulk movie came out.
Even though I liked it,
except for the end tag scene.
You're right. This is as if they didn't do Iron Man. They didn't have that one that was right on, that made sense, that they could launch from. So people hated on Iron Man 2. I like Iron Man 2, but if that was the first one, we wouldn't be sitting here having the same discussion.
I don't hate it, but you're right. You go on the listing, it's probably in the bottom half of Marvel movies.
Yeah. Well, but it's not really fair to compare
Whiplash
it
was awesome.
To Iron Man 1, because the first Iron Man movie is basically a perfect movie. I mean, it is from tone to hitting all the notes.
Even the last moment when he reveals he's Iron Man is what a great reveal at the very end. It surprises you. It's great.
You can't really pick at anything and say that doesn't work in that movie.
Well, I agree, but the thing is that I'm not saying that what they needed to do was mimic Iron Man. They tried to do that with Man of Steel. They wanted Man of Steel, and then all of a sudden was Jeff Johns said, "No, this is the first movie in the extended universe." And I'm like, "Well, wait, what's the first movie in your universe? Like, you already have established all these characters. Like, it's connected."
And you had a very successful run of Nolan's Batman right up against it. It's not like there's been time. Marvel had carte blanche to do whatever they wanted with all those characters because there wasn't Iron Man.
They had the Hasselhoff shield. That actually, no, I'm kidding.
No, but like
that was amazing.
They had a Hulk.
Hasselhoff
it was
shield.
very all over the place. Although I liked the Norton Hulk, I liked the Eric Bana Hulk. I thought it was okay, but it was okay. It wasn't great. It was okay.
All right. Let's talk about the Eric Bana.
Well, no, but I'm just saying.
No, I agree. I own it on Blu-ray. It's all right.
Well, no, I'm just saying that they were out there to do it, and then all of a sudden they got Iron Man and went, "Oh my gosh, we got this!"
Well, we found the form. We found our formula.
There's actually more to it than that. When they did Iron Man was produced basically as an indie film,
right?
And
Favreau got to do whatever he wanted.
It came out of that indie sensibility. Marvel took that approach of we're going to make something artistic. We're going to let directors direct, even though everyone's like, "Oh no, they control so much." They do, but they don't. There is a lot of director's eye behind these. Look at Guardians. Look at what they do. When they don't allow that, Avengers 2, that's when it falls a little flat, and they know that.
Iron Man 2, Avengers 2.
And they know that,
when they're
though.
trying to cram too much stuff in.
They
That's
know
what
that.
happens.
Whereas Warner Brothers, the DC universe is a
Thor-
Warner
Thor-
Brothers.
Right.
It's never going to be trouble. You've got indie producers involved doing this kind of stuff. They
Or
don't have
cooks
a
that-
singular
or
vision
cooks that
behind
don't
it.
work together well.
Right.
Yeah, but when they did Iron Man, like going back to what you were talking about, Downey Jr. was done. I mean, he was done.
Yeah.
They got him. He was done. Gwyneth Paltrow was kind of okay as an actress. Favreau was doing some stuff, but he wasn't as big of a deal as he was.
Right.
And so they made this indie movie and said, "Oh my God, we can make $1 billion off of this thing." And
Yeah.
you know, they hit the they
Well,
hit
I
the
mean,
goal use,
and
so.
Downey was just perfect.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, he was
so-
great at the role.
You know, so it was just everything kind of came together. at
He's
once.
still good enough at it that there was even an article today where they were saying, you know what, we really don't plan on recasting him.
Well,
like Robert Downey Jr.
like,
Yeah,
I don't.
is
I don't.
Iron Man.
You
Right.
keep writing $50 million checks, guess what? You're going to make the money back.
You
It's
Right.
are.
not-
He's the guy to do that with.
But
Well,
they
and
could
the only
not
way
have at the
you
time.
can do a different Iron Man is if you don't have it be Tony Stark. You know that because
Right.
he is Tony Stark in the.
Well, no,
modern
the only way you
context.
can do it is
Certainly not making
you have
Pepper
to-
Potts into Iron.
reboot the entire universe. Like the whole universe has to
Well, as
finally end.
we've talked about that
And
before.
it goes, you know,
They're
and-
mapped out to 2029. I think that is the
Yeah.
storyline that goes to that point, and then it's a new game. Okay, we got to get off of this.
We
We
do.
got to do our show. This is welcome to This Week in
This
Geek.
is our show.
I think
Well,
we're
it
just starting.
was kind of. I think it was kind of a special topic. with
It
this thing,
was.
so
Well,
because
this was
a lot of
big
build.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to run through a couple of things just to kind of get them going here.
Oh, you're done with your salad?
Yeah, I am. First of all, I've got chips and a drink, though. First of all, Killer Clowns is back in the news. Did you guys see this?
No.
Yeah.
So
You
Killer
didn't see the
Clowns from
trailer?
Outer Space is an awesome, awful
I did.
movie
No, it's not.
all at once.
No, it's an amazing movie. There's
It's
no
amazing.
There's
I
no
know.
awfulness. I was actually
no.
talking about that this morning, looking at my 5-year-old son because he was scared. Like something on TV popped up with a clown and he ran off. And I'm like, I should go pull out my Killer Clowns from Outer Space
Well,
and make
it was
you watch it.
it was that documentary about Gacy that you were having your poor kid watch.
Well, you
That's
know.
what scared him.
You got to
uh,
teach him to stay
Here's
away from
Pogo.
those guys.
Anyway, they
Wow.
are the guy who created Killer Clowns from Outer Space has gone on and said they're back, and they're calling it a requel, so it's a reboot / sequel. He said
Or
it's
prequel or
he said it's a trilogy. Wait a minute,
Nyquil?
Did you read
Sounds
this?
kinda
It's
cool.
a trilogy made up of 4 movies. So in the article, they were ripping that apart. It's like, no, I get it. He's doing a trilogy relaunch of Killer Clowns from Outer Space, but he is keeping that first one as part of it, even though he's not going to make it obviously part of it. You don't want it to be. I want it to be that stuff crazy. Guano crazy. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Alien clowns killing people. 4 stars. Don't let Zack Snyder direct it. Don't let David Goyer write it.
No,
4
you-
stars.
You can let Snyder direct.
You
because
can
he
let
did a great
Snyder
job
do
with
directing clowns.
because he did
He
a
did a
great
great job with Watchmen.
No,
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead was
Yeah.
great.
Like I'll give him
I
that.
do. I love. And see, a lot of people hate on Watchmen. I loved Watchmen.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought
that
he did a
opening
great
sequence
job.
is amazing in Watchmen.
It is amazing.
I mean, it follows the book. If you don't,
His
Yeah.
directing on that one, the cinematography, the use of audio, everything is just really, really
But again,
nice.
he had a very defined. He
Right.
had a very defined story, which he.
When he doesn't have
Got
some
the
source
lop on.
material or writing that good is when you get things like Sucker Punch. Beautiful visuals, something's wrong. And I don't know if he knows that. Okay, going on to the next thing. You guys see at the end of the Daredevil 2 season, right at the very end is a tiny teaser for Luke Cage.
yeah,
Did you guys see it?
No,
Okay.
I didn't finish this.
I didn't either, but I watched the teaser. So it's Luke Cage standing in like a boxing thing, and this guy pulls a gun on him and starts shooting. And he's Luke Cage. He's invincible. So he's got,
like,
you know,
I guess you
invulnerable
guys
skin.
haven't heard about me. Yeah.
So his shirt, yeah, and he goes, I guess you guys haven't heard about me. And then it goes, boom, Luke Cage. I am all in. As soon as I saw that, it was awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
gonna do
Like,
it
I've watched
again.
that like 5 times, and then a Nas song kicks in, and like
Oh, really?
throws the guy in,
Yeah.
Oh, it's
in through a
fantastic.
window and stuff like that.
I don't know who
Yeah.
Nas is, but that's awesome.
But
Come on.
I don't. Who's Nas?
All right.
I've heard the name. Is it a rapper? Or
it
Yes.
is a rapper. Yes.
Okay. That's why I don't know what
I'm
it is.
really embarrassed right now. That's why I let you
We
know.
all
I
are.
do.
You don't. You have it on your iPod?
I
do.
iPod. I don't have any music. What are you talking about? I stream. I don't.
But
Do you guys know who Nas is?
Anyone?
Hands up if you know who
Hey,
Nas is.
thank
let's
you.
beat the
Thank
Caspers. No.
Sure.
We've already beaten the Caspers. You know who Nas is.
No.
Back in the 90s. Hey, at least you heard him.
He was in the 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, whatever.
He did. Yeah, he wasn't.
I don't know who that is.
Did you hear that Paul McCartney is going to be in Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah,
Five.
Pirates 5. What is he going to be?
Old man. I don't know. Yeah, I want to hold your hand and
Well,
that'll be
because
it.
Keith Richards is Johnny Depp's
Dad.
dad. Maybe he'll be his other dad. Maybe it's like My Two Dads. They're going to do an episode of that. Paul McCartney. I got my mom to laugh on that one.
Starring Fred McMurray.
Oh, please. That'd be awesome.
Have we ever seen Will Turner's father in the movies?
Yeah, he was in the. He's what's his face? Skarsgård.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Stellan
he could be just a new
Skarsgård.
character.
He's
We
fantastic.
don't
I
know.
don't know.
He'll be in there somewhere. He's an old man.
The first
So.
one was good, and then after that,
That would be great if he was a villain. That would be awesome.
Oh, it'd be great.
No, because
No.
I would see like Hugh Jackman wasn't Pan, like just terrible.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
and that was terrible. And I love Hugh Jackman, but
Yeah.
it was just terrible.
Okay, who's got one? I've got lots of them on here.
Keep going.
All right. With this one,
That's awful.
no, Dan Harmon is producing a stop-motion animated film called Bubbles. Have you heard of this?
No.
No.
It is the story of Michael Jackson told through the eyes of Bubbles, his chimp.
it sounds like
Stars.
Who's backing this? And
Dan Harmon.
And why?
so he's spending his own money.
Here's the deal.
He's like, I made Community, and
I have a
I get a lot of money.
I have a feeling it's going to be really funny. I think it might work. It's based on something that I read was really good
How
source
could
material.
it possibly work?
It's
How?
animated. It's animated. Unless it's I don't know.
Are the two Corys? in
I
it?
don't
That's
plan
a-
on
the
seeing
two Corys are in it.
Well, there's
I'm
only
in.
one, unless one of them's a corpse.
Well, it's
It's
animated.
Weekend at
It's
Bernie's.
animated.
Weekend at Corey's.
Shut up.
No, weekend
With
with
Bubbles.
Corys. Weekend with Corys.
There you go.
Yes. Excellent.
All right.
R.I.P. Corey Haim.
So yeah, that was my news. Maze Runner, Death Cure. There's a third Maze Runner movie coming out. I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys like the
Yeah,
Maze
the
Runner
series.
movies?
It's not bad.
I saw the
They're
first
okay.
one. I haven't
No,
seen the
some
second
from Scott. I like the first one. I didn't see the second
one.
one.
Yeah, I haven't seen-
Well,
That's un-American, Scott.
they
That's
stopped
not even-
production because Dylan O'Brien, who I don't know who that is,
The
but he's
lead,
main
the
character.
lead
Yeah.
main character.
he got injured. So I heard he was coming out of the Millennium Falcon and broke his leg. So it has stopped production for
He
now.
fell over David Duchovny's.
He fell,
sleeping
yes.
there and
So there we go. Maze Runner is delayed. Sorry, video crew. You like YA novels, right?
they look
Yeah.
very Maze Runner,
Yes.
Runner-ish.
They're all up into YA.
They do look like they belong on that little.
In the
the
Yes, like
glade,
they'd be in
in the
Maze
glade.
Runner. You guys do. Have you guys been in Maze Runner? No.
I
They're
hate
more-
you guys.
Jacob's born in Monster High. That's his jam.
He's in. So
You guys see the trailer for Silicon Valley season 3?
I've never watched an episode, so
oh, dude, it's great.
It's watched this trailer. It's
Anyone know what
funny.
the show is?
The best part, Mike Judge. It's a show by Mike Judge. It's based on like an internet startup. It's pretty funny. There's really good cast in it, but they have cast a new character in it, and I can't think of his name, but it's you're gonna find it. It's Ned Ryerson from Groundhog Day. Ned Ryerson?
It's me, Ned Ryerson.
Oh my gosh! When you see him in this trailer, he's hysterical.
He looks the same as he looked 30 years
Yeah,
ago.
well, he's on the Goldbergs. You guys watch the Goldbergs? He's the principal on the Goldbergs. No?
Yes.
You're saying yes?
I know.
One
Goldbergs is
person's
a great
listening
show.
to me. Thank you for listening to me. Gary has fallen asleep.
If you're not watching the Goldbergs, you're missing out.
Yes. Lego Batman. First picture
Oh.
released, and then the trailer. Did you guys see the trailer?
Yeah,
I
they-
missed it.
yeah,
We were
was-
talking about it's so funny.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
I mean, I love the first movie, and I think the Lego movie, and I think it's just perfect.
Well, this isn't a sequel. Because like Molly said when we we're watching it, she goes, well, I wonder if Wildstyle will be in it. And I wonder, no, I don't think so. I think this is a Batman movie made with Lego. Come on, man.
Yeah, it looks great.
And at the very end, Yes. All right, she's chiming in.
Will Arnett.
It's got the logo.
The best Batman ever, Will Arnett.
He's
Can you
throwing his
imagine it?
batarangs at it, and they're missing, and then
Not
it finally hits it. He goes, first try. Awesome.
It was,
you know
it
what
was
my
good.
favorite part of it is that logo. The Lego.
Yeah, the Lego Bat's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That is a movie poster we must have.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It will be mine.
All right, who's got one? Otherwise, I'm going to keep going.
Doctor Who has apparently they have found their new companion,
Yes.
but they have not. They're not going to reveal who it is. So I don't know what it is. But Peter Capaldi was quoted in a couple of morning shows over in England saying, "We know who it is. I've talked to her. We've done a little bit of acting together, but we're not going to say who it is." Till
Did you say her?
No, they did not. They did. And good
It's
news.
a Kardashian.
Yeah.
Not as excellent.
Not as excellent. Unless it was. No, I'm not even.
You know what?
gonna-
They couldn't fit their butts through that tortoise door.
No, it's a little small.
It may be bigger on the inside, but it's not that big.
Not that big. And starting next Monday, which will be March 27th, Doctor Who seasons 1 through 8 will be streaming on Amazon Prime.
Yes. So
About
that's
time.
Official.
Yay!
That was. We talked about this before. First it was on, then it was off. And then we're like, you know what?
Right.
We thought this rumor might mean something.
They jumped the gun a little bit in saying
but
it.
Great. Now, are they doing that classic Who thing? Do you know? Because
I
remember
don't know.
they had that on Netflix where it had the classic Who set. I hope so because that was.
All they released was season 1 through 8 right now, and then season 9 coming in September. So
I'm down with it. Frozen 2. There's one for the 9-year-old in the room. Starts production next month. So everybody the 9-year-old and Scott.
Let it go.
Everybody get ready for
Let it
more
go.
earworms from the Disney company.
Yes.
Because holy moly, we can't seem to go anywhere without hearing Let It Go.
I like that song, so I don't care.
I like it too, but my gosh. The Nas version was a little annoying, but Nas, whatever. Nozzle.
And it was the and
Hey,
I don't
Ooh,
really, this one has just completely eluded me. Was he in the Spice Girls?
He was not in the Spice.
Was he
Girls.
Nazi Spice?
Oh my god.
that's bad. Ooh,
Oh, boo.
Gem.
Yeah,
I actually recently watched
he was
Gem.
No, you didn't.
I did. I'm gonna talk about how I got to watch it.
And you watched it. What'd you think? We're not going to do 20 minutes on Gem.
It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. Like it came out. Like my girls liked it, and it was fine. Like I don't understand where all this hate came from.
Right.
I'm not saying that I'm gonna watch it again, but
I do.
my 7 and 5-year-old loved it. Well,
All right.
I had the
Netflix. Prince. So I don't know if you guys know about this, but we've talked about it. There was a trailer for The Little Prince. This trailer was, in my opinion, amazing. I was mesmerized. It had all these different animation styles. It was gorgeous. It seemed to really be right on cohesive. A week before the theatrical release, they pulled it. Why? No explanation. Nothing's come out about it. Netflix picked it up and said, we're putting it out. They may actually do a theatrical release, a limited theatrical release, before it hits the network. I'm excited. I thought this thing looked great. I can't believe they canceled it.
I haven't seen the trailer.
They canceled that, but they released Gem. I mean, what the serious hell is that?
because she's truly outrageous.
Yeah, well, he's
Truly outrageous.
Maybe if there was an extra truly. Wow.
Three Trulies.
How about this? Emma Stone and Jonah Hill are going to star in a show called Maniac. It's a TV show by Cary Fukunaga. Is that how you say his name? Okay,
so.
Cary Fukunaga, and if I'm saying his name wrong, it's Deb's fault. He is the showrunner on True Detective. He has a new show coming out called The Alienist. It's based on that book. They're going to do a TV show on that. This guy knows how to produce a TV show. Maniac is actually like I'm not going to call it a comedy, but it is a comedy kind of, out of the UK. No, is from the Netherlands.
Oh, I thought it was going to be based on a horror movie.
Well, that's what I thought too, but it's based. It's a Norwegian.
Actually, pretty good.
It's a Norwegian series, and the whole thing is like it takes place inside of this guy's mind. So he has these like wild fantasies about being in a war and all this stuff, and then you find out it's all taking place in his mind. He's in a mental hospital. It's Emma Stone and Jonah Hill. I think they got the right cast. I think they got the right showrunner. I watched the trailer from the Norwegian show, and it's funny. I think it's going to be good. And it reminds me, who's a comic book freak out here? Not as big a freak
Who's
as
a freak?
No. There was
Super Freak?
There was a comic in the late 80s, and I cannot think of the name of this. So if you can name it, Lil will take you to a movie.
I will?
Yeah. It is about a guy who, it's the same thing. You read the comic, and the first part of it, it's just like wild adventure, this big sci-fi battle. And at the very end, you find out he's sitting in his recliner, and it's like all a delusion. I loved this comic. They did 3 issues, and that was it.
It's your life story.
Yeah, it was called like Larry or something.
It's called Rob Southgate.
It was amazing. Yeah, it's called Rob Southgate. Yeah,
Sit there with a remote.
Amazing.
Give me a beer.
It just reminds me of this. I don't drink beer. Give me some coffee.
That
would be more accurate.
A non-fat mocha
So,
latte.
all right. Well, Maniac, put that one on your radar. That one sounds good. Who's got one before I go on?
Some chai tea.
Sean
chai?
T. What's that?
Chai tea.
With the ramping up of Game of Thrones, they released some stills to promote, and they look fantastic. To go along with the trailer, I'm excited. I don't know, because season 6, the book is over. All of the written material is over. So this is all now.
Well, they
stuff
said
that they made up. So
they said, this came out too, that there is stuff that's related to the book, but the series is not spoiling the book. They're working with George R.R. Martin on the series, so they're kind of going off on a bent that ties in. It's canon, but it's not the book, so you'll be surprised by the book. That's awesome.
Yeah, because he's not releasing it now till 2018.
Yep. Somebody pull his beard.
Yes, I know.
What a jerk.
He might like it.
If he comes in here, let's punch him in the nose. No, I like him. I'm not going to punch him. All right, what's next? Killer Clowns we talked about.
How about some of the other you were talking about Jonah Hill. Did you see the trailer for War Dogs?
No.
I did. Yeah.
I did.
I don't know.
What is
it? That's with Jonah Hill and Mr. Fantastic from the new Fantastic Four. Miles Teller.
Miles Teller, yeah.
All signs point to
well, kind of like a buddy.
It's like what is that? Was it
what Adam Sandler movie?
No,
no.
No, it's like a comedy version of that
Lord of War.
Lord of War.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So they
Nicolas Cage, right?
They bid a government project, like a defense budget project, to deliver weapons, like 2/3 of the price that everybody else did, and it's these 26-year-olds, and they have no idea what they're doing, so they have to go to Baghdad and deliver some weapons. So instead of them delivering it by like plane, they drive through. It looks stupid to me. I don't know.
It kind of sounds like Best Defense, that Eddie Murphy and Dudley Moore movie from the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Freaking you.
But it's Eddie Murphy and Dudley Moore, so
wait till you see it. That is one of those like, ooh, this whole thing jumped the shark. Okay. Simon Pegg, he didn't jump the shark.
Ready Player
He's
One.
in talks to join Ready Player One. Make it happen. Yes.
That'd be good.
The Russo made a statement this week. I don't know if you guys follow this, but there's this movie, The Ghostbusters, and they've got the one coming out with the women. Did that come out already?
No, it comes out in July.
Okay, so I thought it was already coming out.
The trailer just came out.
So there was a lot of rumors that there was going to be a second property with guys, right? And the big rumor was it was the Russos developing, and it was going to come out. Well, the Russos this week came out and said, no. Yes, we were developing a Ghostbusters. The other one by Feig was further along in the process. So we pulled the plug on ours, and we did Avengers. Okay.
Good job.
Yeah, they're doing the Infinity War 1 and 2. All right. So there is not another parallel Ghostbusters property. I think they want to build one of these universes like Marvel, but I think they're in trouble doing that. I think that it's going to take a while to build that unless they really get active.
Well, yeah, they're going to have to crank out a Ghostbusters movie 2-3 times a year,
and they got to come up with a new story.
I mean, like Marvel has 2 or 3 movies coming out every year,
right? But they're all new stories. They're all different things.
You can't do Ghosts in New York 2-3 times a year, and
right.
No, you can't, and then you can't have Ghostbusters of Wyoming, and then, you know.
Yes. The real Ghostbusters of LA. Now that's the show I want to see.
with Kurt Russell.
Yes,
be great.
It's Skinny Girl.
Escape from Ghostbusters.
Escape from Ghostbusters.
Shut up. That would be awesome.
No, we can't. Donald Pleasant is passed. He can't.
No, but Adrian Barbeau plays his role. They kind of look similar now. Was that out loud? Okay.
I got Fred Armisen.
Fred Armisen.
He is the voice of the Krang in the new Ninja Turtles movie.
Really?
He's Krang's voice. Yeah. Well,
all right.
I don't know if it's the Krang in that movie or if it is Krang, but
well, is it the Soldier's Field? That's what I need to know. Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? You weren't here, Alil, because you were off working. But
yes.
We watched the trailer for the new Ninja Turtles. I've been busting on it. I actually liked it. I liked seeing Krang. I thought this kind of might be hitting the right note. I don't know how they did it.
No,
because that last one did not hit the right note at all.
I agree. This movie looks to have fixed the problems I had in the first one.
Well,
we'll see.
They're throwing everything against the wall in this one. I mean, you're getting Casey Jones, you're getting Krang, Shredder's back, Rocksteady, Bebop. You know, you're getting all the characters you know from your youth are going to get thrown in there. So. I mean,
we'll see if they fix it.
Yeah.
It smells of desperation to me.
Yeah, but you never know. The Rock might be playing Doc Savage. You guys know Doc Savage?
They want him to. I don't know.
Right. Well, I mean, they're talking about it once again where there's smoke. I'm sure they're talking to him about it. I'm sure he's thinking, yeah, man, you pay me enough. I think he's kind of perfect to play that character. But do you think anybody cares? Yeah, you know what? I've read some of those novels. I liked them. I thought it was a lot of fun. I like those pulp, action-y sci-fi things. And I think it's right, but I don't know if it's going to play. I don't know if anybody cares. We live in a world now where we've got the Guardians of the Galaxy and things like that.
Right.
I think this might be like, kind of like when they launched The Spirit. You go, really? Well,
but that movie was terrible.
That movie was terrible. But
if you make a good movie, I think it can work. I think the problem is, I mean, if people aren't already familiar with the property, then you have to make a good movie and promote it well. Like most people don't know that like Two Guns or whatever with Denzel and Mark Wahlberg
was a comic book.
Was a comic book. A lot of people don't know that, but they knew it was an action movie and it looked good.
Well, Blade was the same way. Nobody knew. I mean, not many people knew that Blade was.
Oh, when it first came out,
or Wanted or whatever. People don't know that it's a comic book, so you don't have to go through the process of explaining to everybody where this property came from. The fans will know. And just make a good movie and promote it.
I would rather see him make a good Netflix series out of Doc Savage. That's what I would like to see.
I wouldn't mind seeing an
HBO series, something sweet
with all those, with a bunch of those different characters, and you could put them in there.
I have a feeling it's like, remember when they tried to launch what's his name, The Executioner? You know what I'm talking about?
The Equalizer?
No. Well, Remo Williams. Yes. They tried to launch that. It's a great series of books. They got the note wrong. The movie wasn't bad, but they got the note wrong. I have a feeling it's like past its time a little bit. Yeah, Joel Grey was Asian in it. It was, I don't know. Mickey Rooney played an Asian in it. No, there's a cut for you. Mm-hmm. So, all right, what else do we have?
Speaking of Paul, Billy Zane's coming back for The Phantom 2.
No, he isn't. Oh my God. That would have been awesome.
No, but speaking of Netflix,
he could have been Lex.
Jeremy Renner says he would love to have a Hawkeye Netflix series.
Sure, because
I'm sure he would.
A Hawkeye,
but he doesn't have to do it. I mean, he's in a ton of movies. I mean,
but if you took the Matt Fraction storyline,
exactly.
Oh my God,
that would be great.
A TV show.
That would be great. It would work perfectly.
And totally do it where he owns the apartment building and he has to like fix the sinks. I love it. And he has the neighbor that calls him Hawkeye.
And
love it.
And the fact that he is wanting to do it and has really come out and said it, to me shows that he has actually fallen in love with the character.
Sure.
Because I think after Avengers 1, I'm almost positive that if they said we're not making another one, he would have left and not even cared.
Right.
And I think he's
But in this one, he gets
there.
to shoot Ant-Man on an arrow.
I can't wait for that.
Done. Sign me up. Let's see. There's only a couple more on here.
Fake, right? That's
shut up.
CGI.
No, it's not fake. It's never fake.
It did come out this week that Marvel is potentially developing Captain Britain as a TV show.
Yep.
I am all in on that. That's awesome. Next thing you do is give me a TV show of Alpha Flight, and I'm good to go.
Owned by Fox.
Yep, make it all nuts. That's awesome. Peter, I'm going to say this.
Next, you're going to tell me they're going to redo a Thunderbirds movie.
They did.
I know. I'm teasing.
Terrible.
It was bad.
Peter Serafinowicz
The voice of Darth Maul
is cast as the Tick. I am down with that. I love Patrick Warburton as the Tick. They weren't going to have him again. Got this guy. Football, even more important. He's the roommate in Shaun of the Dead.
Yes.
Right, he's
Kurt
the
roommate?
yeah. And he was in Guardians of the Galaxy. He was the guy who called him a bunch of bleeps.
Yep.
This is a
That's
family.
him?
He is.
Really? Yeah.
He's perfect for the Tick.
The one that died fighting with Rocket.
Yeah.
Yes, I am down with this. I think that's going to be great. I love the Tick. I love that Tick. The Tick is excellent. I have a big Tick toy on our shelf at home. Yep.
I was bit by a tick once.
Were you?
I
Is
have
that what
I
happened?
have Lyme's disease now.
Oh, nice. Bit your thyroid? Is that what happened?
It's not contagious.
I know.
Um,
How do you know?
I don't know. That's what the,
You guys
Got
see
him
the-
something.
that's what the
we
CDC
got like
told
2
me.
minutes. There's a CGI Resident movie coming out in 2017. Who cares?
CGI what?
You saw, and I saw it on
Resident
your notes.
Evil.
Oh.
Another one, Alice.
Yeah.
They're okay. I mean,
Yeah.
they blow up a lot of stuff. So there's
Talented Mr. Ripley is going to be a TV show. And actually, this could work. And here's the best part. The one show running it is a guy named Neil Cross. He is the guy that created Luther. If you haven't seen Luther, you are missing out.
Yeah.
And him doing Talented Mr. Ripley, I think he's going to strike the right tone with this thing. I think it's right on. I think we're going to be talking about this show. I think it's going to be cool. Geekstradamus predicts it.
Wow.
Deepwater Horizon trailer. Do you guys see that one? It's got Marky Mark. It's got John Malkovich, Kurt Russell, and Blair. No, Ethan Suplee. I saw in the trailer. They didn't mention him, but
Who's
he's
the
in there.
wife? I can't.
It's the one from Almost Famous.
Yes.
It's, what's her name's daughter? Kurt Russell and
Goldie.
Tammy Faye
Goldie
Baker.
Hawn's
Yeah,
daughter.
Goldie
I
Hawn's
can't think of her
daughter.
name.
You know,
Kate Hudson.
Kate
Kate Hudson. Sorry, I was drawing a blank. It looked okay, but is it Big Catch with oil drilling? I don't know.
Big catch.
Or what is that? Perfect Storm? Whatever.
Yeah, I
it
was
is.
thinking Perfect Storm when I was watching it.
Yeah.
So it looked cool. I like the trailer. I think the trailer is the whole movie.
Could be.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie is going to play Tanya Harding in the movie Tanya.
Hold on. Not only is she going to do this, this is her project. What in the blank is she
What?
doing?
In-
What
in-
is going on?
I think it's
in
her, like,
what
when she
world
took crazy
does Margot
pills.
Robbie look anything like Tanya
I
Harding?
know.
I know. Exactly.
Who looked at Tanya Harding and went, I know Margot
Could I-
Robbie.
Could I be Jeff Galooly?
She's just trying to tell her side of the story. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's not all about
I
Nancy
hear
Kerrigan.
Brad Pitt is playing Jeff Galooly.
Why me?
And,
Why me? Nobody cares
Oh,
anymore.
If Anne Hathaway is Nancy Kerrigan, it would be great.
you just
Be
cast
awesome.
a film, sir. I'm watching
Anne
that movie.
Hathaway.
And it just beats her. And
I'm watching that movie. That sounds awesome. Yeah, man.
Nicolas Cage has to be Jeff Galooly, though.
Yeah, I think this is her monster. That's what I think it is. Because remember, what's her name? Uglied herself up for Monster. I think.
Charlize Theron.
Yeah, I think that's her. No offense, Tanya Harding, but I think she's ugling herself up to be the skater chick. They're not
But
gonna. I
hold
think
on.
they're gonna do the video.
But time.
Got Chris.
That
Yes.
is coming back for that. So.
All right. Do we have anything else?
No.
How about, have you seen the thing with special correspondence with Ricky Gervais on Netflix?
No.
Okay, so
Is it a show?
it's him, and I'm drawing a blank on who else he scares with it.
That's
Or I
a
think
surprise on this show.
That is a surprise on this show. They play like news correspondents, and they're supposed to go to Central America.
Okay.
Well, Ricky Gervais, being the lazy SOB that he is, they don't want to go, so they basically go to an apartment across the street and record their radio host. Record like they're in Nicaragua or El
That
Salvador.
sounds like a Southgate Media Group joint.
It does. And so then a guy down, Benjamin Pratt's also in, he goes down to see these guys in wherever it is, El Salvador. They can't find him, so they have this big thing that the two radio
Wait, this
hosts
is a
are
movie
missing.
or a show?
No, it's a show on Netflix. Look it up. It's Ricky Gervais. How bad can it be? It looks
please.
funny.
Yeah. I saw the thing. I just didn't watch it, so I'm gonna have to check that one out.
And what about Criminal? Have you seen the trailer for that?
Yes, looks amazing.
It looks amazing. Coster's actually, I hate to say actually good, but it looks like a great part for him. So
All right, I got one more. Kids, earmuffs. Just warning you, Molly.
Molly, run.
On July 12th, I just wanted to highlight this because I hadn't heard of this movie, and I'm not wanting to watch it, but the
Get
trailer
outta
is
here.
amazing. July 12th, DVD only. MILFs versus Zombies is coming out. It's not what you think. I saw it. I was like, why is this on my feed? It's a horror feed. I'm like, why is this? It's an actual like pseudo horror movie like Sharknado. It looks amazingly bad, like beyond bad, like another level of bad. So this might be great.
Is Ian Ziering in it?
Ian Ziering, yeah. So, all right, earmuffs off. Yeah, we're not watching that, but I use the collective we, which means I'm probably going to watch it because that sounds awesome. Is that it?
That's all I got.
Done. Give your social media real quick.
Ben Miller writer. That's Twitter, my Twitter, and Ben Miller _Miller writer at Instagram.
You.
At LOGEEKZ for the League of Geeks podcast.
You.
Blue Box Cafe and Blue Box Cafe 176 on all social media.
You can follow me at Southgate on Twitter, and you can also follow this show. Who knows why you'd want to? At _SMG. So This Week in Geek _ Southgate Media Group. That's it, everybody. Thank you, Blue Box. Thank you, everybody. This was a lot of fun. We'll be back next week.
Maybe.